love the chase and the hunt, and I set the pace when I'm running. I always take what I want and I always give it 100. Don't need a bank, no I'm funded. Play the game like it's nothing. I'm always thankful for something. Don't take for granted, stay humble. Now wake up! It's time to look at the enemy. Look in the mirror if he is no friend to me. It's not working out, maybe it's the chemistry. It's time to break up so I can make a better me. Better believe in your mind, cause it's everything. You can mold, shape, find almost anything. All it takes is some time and some clarity to find your identity. It's mind over everything.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up. I'm so gone, no I'm never turning back. I won't stop, I'ma fight until there's nothing left. It's so what? You're gonna be hurting bad, cause I've been to hell and back. You don't wanna make me mad, I stay strong. You will never see me crack. And if you get in my way, you gonna feel the wrath. Gotta say it to my face while he's looking back. Mirror breaks after math, when I hate I attack.
When I feel like this, I'm immortal. When I feel like this, I'm immortal.
And when I feel like this, I'm immortal. 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 Don't be scared. Just give me up.
Alrighty, let's get this show on the road. How's everybody doing? I hope I'm audible. Hello, Kate, Christoph, Johnny, Tom Nash came to visit. Oh my god! Oh my god! I have Tom coming to visit now. That is phenomenal. Hello, Tom. Welcome, everyone. Well, right. Even I'm saying. Hello, Sky. All right. Everybody join in. Let's give it half a minute. I know I'm a bit late more than usual today. Thank you for showing up, brother. Thank you. Appreciate it. Hello, Greg and Kozdarova. Hello. Howdy. Hello. Anywho, let's get this show on the road. I'm sorry I'm a bit late. I was very busy having a meeting with my community members and all that beautiful stuff. It was a pretty productive, really good meeting. It's recorded, although I kind of half screwed up and there's no video, so I'm sorry for that, but there's enough audio. And the overall topic is, I think, clear enough that you can listen to it without really seeing it. You're gonna get the better part of the idea, especially the questions at the end. It's uploaded in the Discord. We have 2 meetings a week, one of which is for the Academy members, a little bit more advanced material, and of course a meeting for everyone, all the Patreon, Academy members, everyone all together. So let's get the show on the road. I'm sorry, voice goes, my throat is not 100% yet, but getting there. As you can see, I'm coughing a lot less. Let's get the show on the road. 1 minute doesn't really matter to us, all in all. By the way, I've made another important thing. A lot of people don't know. I kind of made a members exclusive Just for those who are not aware, I actually made a members exclusive and I spoke about everything that happened today and everything. All of that really was expected, including the closure of the gap, pretty much anything and everything that happened out today. So there's no really real surprise for us. Again, in these members exclusive, those who are only members are preview to all these sort of extra little tidbits. As I said, we just had another members meeting, which I badly screwed up by not, as you can see, no video, only audio. Yeah, I badly screwed up, but it's completely worth it. The previous one, also very worth it. And of course, we're going to have many more of the Academy archive and all sorts of great things that are happening and moving along. So there's that. Definitely join the community, patreon.com/investor. That way you'll be always up to speed. Like, for example, today, my community have not found this to be surprising whatsoever. In fact, we've expected this sort of behavior. All in all, it is, I hate to say it, but it is another nothing burger. More so, it is very bearish in its nature because you can see the inclination of this trend while this is becoming flat, basically running out of momentum to the point where it's just going flat, right? Retesting the very same support and resistance levels that we've already retested before. And if you are more attentive, you'll be able to notice what was floor is now currently functioning as a ceiling, and we're basically struggling against it. Well, simultaneously, let's go over the momentum. For example, if we look at the 5 minutes, the 5 minute is already deteriorating, although we kind of have left nothing left out of the session, 22 minutes. So within the context of this, it's meaningless. We're probably going to land back on 5423.20 right there, or at least play along and around these. We do have a bit of a heavy junction right here of forces, and so that behavior is not all that surprising, kinda. But still, all in all, we're seeing that the market is prepping to move downwards. 5 minutes, so it's kind of meaningless. Let's look at the 30 minutes. 30 minutes is curving to the downside, right above the 50 range, 57.62 kind of. So all in all, it is at face value bullish, and it is more so in bullish territory. But it is starting to curve. 30 minutes is slowly deteriorating. Nothing clear at the moment, but it is starting to become interesting. To confirm, to see a clearer idea of what's going on, right? Let's transition to the other time frames, see what they tell us. The other time frame, for example, if we're looking at 45 minutes, we're having again the convergence of the forces. In other words, the D is taking dominance. We're about to become more bearish. If you now look from this point of view, you realize that actually this is a force that already stumbled upon, got rejected by it to the lower end, attempted again, got rejected again, and now we're giving it another attempt. The real question is, will we succeed this time around? And as predicted last week, kind of drag it out. Or the real question becomes whether we're going to close this gap. We still have a gap all the way to 56.48. I am a bit skeptical about this gap. You will see why, because the momentum is not too permissive for it, although I really would not be against it because that is in essence a chore, and as long as we do not go out of the range, as you can see, we can go as far as 48 and correct all the way back to it under the volatility that we're having right now, so it's not all that surprising. So yes, the further off from it we get, the more confident, or at least over time, I can be that we're not going to necessarily pull back to close it, given that it is already on the edge of the ranges and a bit problematic. But once, if literally, as you can see on the screen, this is a conversation I was having in the community, pardon me. So how I can see if the market pulls up all the way to that SMA, basically, allowing up, because that's in essence what has happened already, right? We've closed the previous gaps, so everything, we retested previous levels multiple times. We're ready to break down, but we still are seeing some positive momentum, which is, let's be honest, this 1 hour is still positive at face value. It is more than ripe to break down. I mean, it's kind of squeezing the list. It's barely running on fumes, if I can even call it so. And throughout the series, in terms of amount of steps that it needs to have, it pretty much finalized what it can do. But if we look at the 4 hours, which is very similar to the daily, just 2 candlesticks per day instead of 1, we are just that close to the edge of the channel, seemingly have the necessary momentum. Let me remove the drawing so you can see. We are overbought and bullish, and so I can easily see how we make it to 55, 555. If you know, guys, we have a level here that is a strong psychological level. It is, let me just put it so it's going to stand out a little bit like so. It's going to be a 55.55. So, believe it or not, yeah, the hamsa, many hamsas. So, believe it or not, we're very well aware of this level. The market is very well aware of this level. We tested it like a bajillion times, and I'm just showing near term. So, we've kind of tested this level to death. We're very well aware. And so, basically, I'm not going to be surprised if we're going to be testing so. And if we will, then it's not going to be completely far-fetched to see the, as you can see on the drawing here, the end of the gap complete, and only then a beginning of a continuation of the downtrend, right? If so. Now, why do we think the downtrend will persist and will continue? Well, for a very simple reason, because for example, on the daily, we're about to break, right? This is kind of shorter term range, relatively speaking, because we're about to break at 82, not breaking basically the actual 80 range, not actually becoming bullish, transitioning to becoming bearish. And remember, this is temporary, short range, no matter how you call it. At the end of the day, even when we squeeze out this, maximum amount of time, we pretty much can be equal to a month, right? And that's to the downtrend. I warn you, we're not looking to the upside right now. So even if you can squeeze out a little bit of that bullish momentum, which by the way, remind you again in oversold territory, which basically an expression of that very same daily that is already overturning. This is looking at this entire thing would be like zooming in on this tiny little thing, basically. Why? Again, that 1 hour, right? That 1 day, sorry, works within the framework of that week. And so the damage we can cause within a handful of hours, an entire day worth of hours, is a lot less what we can do through several weeks, because that's what the predictive ability of the weekly chart gives us. And sorry to say, but the monthly is still very indicative of a continuation of a downtrend that haven't even yet reached oversold. Although this is impressive. All in all, if we really look at the objective thing, we went from the ceiling where we said it's going to drop and break down all the way to the median, broke back down and corrected back to median within the same month. This is some insane volatility. I mean, the markets are really volatile right now. Another reason why I should avoid, short-term range trade is because these are just very risky. Oh my God, I'm just barely able to follow up with half of what's going on in the chat. You guys people are phenomenal. Members exclusive is Nylan Greg's OnlyFans. Exactly. Yes. That's only Greg's. That's exactly what it is. I'm telling you. It's there is a lot of very exclusive, perverse stuff that's going on there. You're never gonna get it anywhere else. Crooked ass pattern, We do all the crazy analysis there, so no one can see. So all in all, the momentum trend is still the trend of the momentum. The trend of English much, bro. So basically, the trend currently is persisting downwards in the momentum as such. So they're kind of playing within the framework of each other. And our first stepping stone, I guess the first station we had, which was 48, major stepping stone, 48.18, was closely tested. But my argument here, this is just the beginning. And if anything, we should expect the continuation of the quarterly chart as it's structured right now to continue drawing us back to that 48.18, retesting that, dropping to the bottom of to the median of our far larger channels. You can see roughly around 4,300, retesting that beautiful thing, potentially creating a shoulder to that head and shoulders, retesting that beautiful thing, and then continuation of the downtrend to roughly around the bottom at roughly 3,300. Right, this is kind of the grand scheme of things. You see, nothing has really changed. In fact, things kind of got worse. It's just that temporarily, because we've gone through this process and we're going through a convergence kind of on the half year, it feels like we're doing a lot, while in reality, we're just slowly building up towards the downwards larger cycle. So, I mean, arguably we haven't even completed the smaller one because we kind of retracted back on it, but I believe it will be complete throughout the following months. And in fact, again, as it appears right now, we might, and I've stated this before, end this very month around 4,800 or 5,000-ish. I'm not saying that is certainty, but I am seeing how, again, throughout this month, we still have enough room to retrace back to these very bottoms and retest these again, although it might necessarily be as low. It might be slightly higher, maybe 5,100. Again, the handle of 5,000 altogether in the vicinity. But yeah, closer to 5,000 than the area within 5,555, which could still be, depends on how far they can prolong this process. And ironically, by the way, I gotta mention that this is reminding me of a inverted head and shoulders, but those who understand where we are in the cycle and understand that this is an inevitability, and yes, sure, this is actually an inverted head and shoulders, you're not getting it wrong. This is an inverted head and shoulders which can play out perfectly in a very unexpected to you fashion. Just saying. I mean, the problem with the direction that we're having right now is not understood by most people unless you're familiar with the cycles and how they look and what are the harmonic patterns that dictate these behaviors, right? Those are far larger cycles that are not necessarily visible or known to the average person. This is why it's so important to learn with Greg One-on-One Academy thingy. I am a shitty salesman. That's not funny. It is just not funny how horrible I am as doing all these things. But let me, since I'm already trying to do a half-ass announcement, is reminding you people that the One-on-One Academy is currently having 3 spots open. Don't miss out, because the longer you wait, basically the less spots you'll have in terms of flexibility of time. Because again, the academy is currently basically stuffed to the brim almost. These are the very few spots that I can allow to open and prepare for some of the students that are finishing the academy. And so I highly recommend signing up, because once they're full, they're just going to get locked for, as long as it may take. So don't miss out. There are 3 spots right now. Sign up so you'll actually be able to know all this stuff and not just rely on Greg. You'll be able to have your own analysis done over the assets you're holding, the market, and see your own point of view and not just rely on Greg on these sort of things. What's up, G? What's up, Mamba? Good to see you. Gene and Christoph are killing it in the chat today. You guys are phenomenal. I'm barely able to keep up with all the craziness that's going on. Wait, Casey, you're starting Russian? What is this? Brother comrade, what is this? Fill the gap, do the chores. Okay. Сделал дело, гуляй смело. Interesting. Where the hell did you get that one? But that, yeah, I mean, in a way, yeah. Once, take care of the chores, and then you can do, you can do whatever you want. Pretty much, you're free to go. Hamsa. Very good. Yes. That's actually Arabic for 5. On Hebrew, we say chamesh. But in both cultures, it is known as a lucky number. In this instance, we're getting a 4 5s and 0.55. So, yeah. Let's see. What else did I miss right there? I mean, so all in all, if we're looking at the individual assets, nothing that we haven't seen before. Again, a retest of 95. This is a clear example how the support resistance levels that we're familiar with can work or function as our metal wall, if you will, that first primary stopping force of the price action, and then you can see how the channel came into play and prevented from a further spillover of the price action, right? You can literally see a retest of these very levels I've mentioned before, so you can try and argue with the chart, good luck, or this very interesting coincidences, or more so the medians here and all that beautiful stuff. Boys and girls, technical analysis works. It's really good if you know what you're doing. If you don't know what you're doing, you're always going to say it's a rain dance or smoke signals or whatever. If you know what you're doing, it's a very, 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 very useful tool. And in fact, I think anybody and everybody, doesn't matter whether you're a trader, investor, whatever, you consider yourself a mutant somewhere in between, because you're both, and then you do options and bonds and all of that. Everyone needs this. It's the ability to measure. It's like saying I can be a contractor without a measuring tape. That makes no sense. Okay? Just saying. In fact, the contractor has a laser designator. In fact, multiple. So, just saying. All right. What is going on in the chat? What are you saying? Still very high volatility. 30 is still very high. Yeah, I know, Christoph. 30 is still very high. It's just that we taper down and correct back up as the volatility comes down because, again, Gene mentioned also the volume was very tame today. And so all that movement that we've seen is mainly artificial. It's not really real. It's more so dumping rather than anything else. Look at the long term. Institutions are dumping in the boatloads. Come on. What do you think? You're not going to see it happening? Fill the gap. Mircha? Mwah. Very good, very good. Let's see what 30 gives. Yeah. Fill the gap. Fill the gap. All right, boys and girls. I love the attitude. Yeah. All right. Yeah, fill the gap. We're definitely not against filling the gap. If the gap gets filled, it allows us to move in a just more of a free fashion, I guess, not being sort of, held back. Now, people are asking, can we make it to the top of the channel? SMA is creeping behind. It's still very high, and it will make sense that it will fall in line with that. And again, this is why I'm saying, boys and girls, get prepared because this thing can be very bumpy. Up and down, everybody's going to get, sort of threshed around, right? So get ready for a bumpy ride, I guess. Let's see what else. What we're doing here is, we're following the progression of the data, right? In real time. And in real time, I think there's nothing better than indicative to give you the actual expectation or rather, movement of the market in the direction of, other than analyzing the real-time price action in the market, right? Let's see what else you guys are saying. Sweet! Go over the chat. The sad reality, by the way, I gotta say it. I noticed most people in the market. Throughout my career, at least, I noticed that people lack emotional strength, and especially during such very turbulent times, right? So the most market participants are kind of like a buoy in the water, being threshed around by the waves of the market, if you will, right? And that's where technical analysis is so powerful because you don't have to be threshed around by the market. You can actually understand, like we said, the real-time data that is given to you, analyze it through that, right? And instead of being threshed around, use the waves to make the money work for you instead of you working for your money. Now, so pretty much everything is the same. We're still buying a whole bunch of SQQQ, continuing with the direction of the expectation. You do you, at least that's what I'm doing. That's when I say we, myself. I know some members in the community do that as well, given the really good opportunity. I'm kind of holding off on plug because I have what I wanted to have. I'm just waiting for it to play out. I might add up a little bit here and there. Greg, you said, cycles has the current cycle topped out, then is everything bearish now for a year more and dead cat bounce only? Pretty much. Centurion Mark. So yeah, Mark, actually very good question, phenomenal question. For most people, yes, it will be perceived as that a bunch of dead cat bounces, although I really hate the terminology. Pretty much any object that doesn't really bounce back properly, like the semi-half-ass bounce kind of, right? Or if you really want to compare it, what it is, it's this, if you know how to skip rope, right? You have a big skip, small skip in between, right? So yes, pretty much it's going to be big skip, small skip, but all of them will be pointing in the downwards direction. And it over time, look, every time we rally this way, it makes this it almost creates this fool's errand circumstance where a lot of people are seeing the market rallying and immediately adopt the to the moon mentality and think everything is fine. Well, in reality, just the same way we have corrective movements on the upside, we have corrective movements on the downside, right? But they're just opposite. And so these upwards movements, yes, they will appear to people such as potential bounces, but really all it is going to be temporary corrective movements, as we oftentimes say, in order to move down. It's like it's a rally for a crash, right? Or a crash for a rally. Basically, we need to move down in order to move up, or move up to more in order to move down. In this instance, currently, the direction of the cycle, if you will, or the part of the cycle within which we are currently in, is downwards. Yes, significantly strong pressure downwards. Yes. Is anyone using Renko bars to see? I don't know. Some people, I'm sure, not really. It's an inconvenient way. I mean, candlesticks still really end up being the clearest and the simplest and most convenient way. I know some people here and there, but no, I don't, and I don't see why you. It doesn't. What kind of I don't see what kind of advantage it would give you. In fact, it's a little bit more tedious for the eye, especially when you have a bunch of indicators on the screen, a lot of lines, a lot of things, a lot of levels. It's not really the best way to go about this, if you ask me. To each their own. That's it. I think we're done for today. Before we run off, there's not much to say about individual assets. I mein, everything is still working within exactly the same framework of the very same levels we've mentioned on last week's lives, the members meetings and so forth. So everything is pretty much in line. The only thing that is a little bit surprising is oil. As you can see, Plug is suffering because of it. This is the only reason why I'm thinking to actually buying a little bit more, because I mean, it's just so tempting, right? It removes some small noises and then a switch. Not to that extent. And plus, you want to have that noise, if you ask me, if you want to have valid and accurate levels, super accurate, scalpel accurate, and you need those to come up with other calculations. I'm just saying, again, it's my opinion. Alexei, if you like, Renko, you go for it, brother. I'm the last person who will tell you not. It is definitely superior to a line chart. No matter what, we can both agree they're better than the line chart, right? So, Alexei, definitely use that. People, make sure to have press the button before you go. Yeah, of course, absolutely. Everyone, subscribe, like, ring the bell. Make sure you shift the notifications to everything. Otherwise, you will not be in the know and you'll miss out. And highly recommend to join the community. Inquire about the one-on-one academy, because I have only 3 spots. That's actually pretty rare, and they're probably gonna get caught really quickly. And oftentimes, I know that happens every time the same. When they get filled, suddenly 4 people somehow jump out of the woods, start asking about it. Now here you go. Here, where are all the other 4 people who jump back and forth and are not certain? Boys and girls, now there is an opportunity to sign up. Don't miss out. Again, whatever second you wait, might be the window of time that you prefer to have and most comfortable for you might be taken up by somebody else. So don't miss out. First come, first serve. And worst case scenario, you'll have to block off, or rather close off a spot for later, right? And I'll have to sort of get back to you in terms of schedule later. But you do really want to reserve, so to speak, if you will. But yeah, that's it, boys and girls. This is it for today. I think we're done. We've covered everything. The market is closed. No real big surprises. The market didn't really do jack shit. But definitely the thought here is generally still that the pressure is downwards, even though we're having a couple of corrective days. That's very normal. I mean, corrective days, right? We're looking at 2 weeks of bullshit at this stage, but sure, that's normal. Don't forget that within 2 months, we've decimated what we've done within a year. So give us another month, we'll decimate what the market has done within 2 years. Just, not a big deal, right? Boys and girls, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. I will see you all in the community, on the Discord, on the next video, on the live, and the academy, whichever one you choose. Here is a final one last reminder for those who definitely don't know how to join the Discord is join Patreon. Then directly you can go to Discord, because nothing gets really posted on Patreon. Patreon is merely the way you subscribe and you pay for your subscription. It automates the whole process of filtering the members. You go to Discord, connect your accounts. All the instructions are found on Discord on the left, click me. It's a very interesting channel. It sits right on the top. As you will join, you will see all these wonderful instructions. You will see right here, all you have to do is press this link, press this link, and then it will take you to a page where you just connect your accounts, and it's all that simple. And I'm a moron, I'm not showing. Here it is. This is the Discord. This is the left, click me. This is where you go. This is the link, you press this, it takes you to Patreon and your subscription. You see settings, app, and Discord, right? And then you only need to do connect. It is as simple as that. Once you do, then you'll be transferring from here, like this person, to here and seeing all the beautiful content and be able to hang out with us on a daily basis, get the members exclusives, all that beautiful stuff. Now, with that in mind, boys and girls, you all have a wonderful evening. I have to drop off, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.